Welcome traders to this new market game plan for week 7 for Nasdaq futures. So let's start with the economic calendar for next week. So on Monday we don't have any high or medium impact news driver, so I expect Monday to unfold a consolidation day or a high resistance liquidity run. Low resistance liquidity run is possible after 9:30 a.m. but a high resistance liquidity run is more likely to unfold. On Tuesday, we only have 10 a.m. high impact news driver, which is the Fed Chair Powell testifying. So generally when the Fed Chair is talking in the AM session, the AM session can be problematic to trade, but maybe after the AM session, so during the PM session, some beautiful trade opportunities may present themselves. On Wednesday, we have the main news release for the week, which is the CPI release at 8:30 a.m. Also have 10 a.m. Fed Chair Powell testifying again, might be problematic. 10:30 a.m. crude oil inventories, not that big impact on price action for the indices. And later in the afternoon, FOMC member Waller is speaking. So for Wednesday, I expect some nice volatility to kick in after 8:30 a.m. Maybe after 9:30 a.m. But I'm not sure of that already. On Thursday, very next day, we have the PPI release and the unemployment claims. Be aware of that. On Friday, we do have 8:30 a.m. core retail sales and regular retail sales release. So for the early part of the week, I expect some absence of volatility in the markets, and I expect after Wednesday 8:30 a.m. CPI release that the volatility kicks in for the weekly candle unfolding. Thursday can have a large range day as well, and Friday we need to monitor what the 4 days of the week did. So if these 4 days were one-sided towards the upside or towards the downside, we may have a TGIF unfold after 8:30 a.m. during the AM session. But for now, it's simply too early to already be sure of that. So main focus for the week is for me on Wednesday after the CPI release, and Thursday perhaps after the PPI release. But for me personally, my best results aren't booked on the PPI days, so I'm cautious on this day. Okay, if we look into the high time frames for Nasdaq, let's start on the monthly chart. So on the monthly chart, we can see that January's price action traded into this busy over here, trading to the upside. February is still inside the last month's high and last month's low of January, but we're still in buy-side delivery throughout the last 2 years or so. On the weekly time frame, I already mentioned that my draw on liquidity personally is this candle's high over here, because we have 1, 2, and inside this candle 3 relative equal highs over here. So that's my draw on liquidity. But if I'm wrong and price is trading towards the sell side instead, we are monitoring these relative equal lows over here. So on the daily chart, we can see that for the past 2 weeks, Monday with the DeepSeek news which came out. We had beautiful down close candle over here, leaving relatively equal lows intact. During the last 2 weeks of trading, we had buy side delivery, so longs were profitable and they all have their protective sell stop below this low, last week's low, and this low over here. So if I'm wrong and price doesn't trade towards the upside, I'm monitoring these levels as a draw on liquidity. As you can see, this new week opening gap, also volume imbalance and a liquidity void over here. Price traded into it on last week's Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, and this week's Friday. So we had some difficulties trading past this volume imbalance and instead rejected it. So as soon as price doesn't close above it, trading back into the volume imbalance and trading into the relative equal highs over here, I expect, as long as this volume imbalance is respected, I expecting sell side delivery towards these lows over here. So on the 4-hour chart, you can see that last week's price action took the previous week's high over here, trading into this sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency, and rejected on Friday after the NFP release, which may be the inception or the start of the move towards the downside. So normally I am pretty one-sided on having a buy side delivery target or sell side delivery target, but for now we do have relative equal highs intact and we do have relative equal lows intact. So yeah, that's 50-50. So we need to see how the weekly candle for next week will start trading, and if price is interested of trading into the relative equal highs. But if I may make a educated guess, I think that price close below this busy over here, so we may have some manipulation going up, respecting the daily volume imbalance, which you can see because we are on the 4-hour chart. So manipulation up into this busy over here, trading to the downside into the relative equal lows over here. Yeah, so let's see how next week's CPI and PPI week will unfold. I'll be back on Saturday with a market review of next week's price action, and can see if we can study how next week's price action will deliver and if we can learn something from it. So that was it for this week's market game plan. Hope you learned something. Hope you have a nice weekend and an even better trading week ahead. See ya.